Hey, Rufus! How's it going? Ready to talk about another exciting etymology? Never mind that shit. I got a good one for today. Let's talk about the word suffrage. Pop quiz, Rufus. It's only one question long, and it's not even a question. Use the word suffrage in a sentence. Wrong. But you've illustrated my point perfectly, so good job. Let's talk about the word suffrage and why it looks like but is not related to the word suffering. Blackboard! Let's start with the Latin origins of the word. The noun suffragium appears in classical Latin first as a noun meaning a voting tablet or a ballot, and later by extension the right to vote, which is, spoilers, a modern English meaning of the word. Now we could just leave it there, but a few scholars have proposed further derivations of the Latin word itself, namely that it probably comes from the prefix sub, meaning under, and either the noun fragor, fragoris, meaning crash or loud noise, or the verb frangere, which means to break or shatter. In the case of the noun, maybe it meant shouts of approval, and in the case of the verb, maybe it refers to a broken piece of tile, like the ancient Greek practice of casting votes written on shards of pottery. The voting shard was called an ostrakon in Greek, which is where the word ostracized comes from, another story for another day. Wherever it came from, suffragium took the typical path of medieval Latin to Old French and starts popping up in English texts in the 1400s. In the earliest sources, though, the word suffrage actually referred to a short intercessory prayer, that is, a prayer to a saint to offer to help somebody. The word still has this ecclesiastical usage today, in fact. Senses of the word relating to the act of voting don't appear until around a century later. The meaning of the collective vote of a group of people, especially that of a nation's citizens eligible to vote in a political election, shows up in 1531, for example, and appears regularly thereafter in reference to citizens' right to vote in elections. The word suffragette, referring to a woman who advocates for women's right to vote, first appeared in the British newspaper The Daily Mail in 1906. That word was coined by simply changing the suffix on the existing word suffragist to the French suffix "et", which, among other things, denotes something done by a girl or a woman. Like how Kermit is a Muppet, but Miss Piggy is a Muppet. Anyway, the fact that women's suffrage movements in much of the world successfully ended a century ago, and the unfortunate but coincidental similarity of suffrage to suffer, mean that many English speakers don't know the word suffrage, leading to unfortunate, if hilarious, pranks of fake petitions to, quote, end women's suffrage. This is why you gotta learn your history, kids, or at least some Latin. So, why does suffrage look so much like suffer? And how can we really know that they're not actually related? Well, suffer has a pretty clear and uncontroversial etymology. It also comes from Latin, and it's also a combination of the prefix sub and a verb, but the verb in this case is fero, a favorite verb of any Latin student due to its comically unpredictable third and fourth principal parts. That's right, the past tense of this in Latin is this. I guess I shouldn't say anything since the past tense of go in my own dumb language is went. Anyway, the verb suffero in Latin can mean a few different things, from the rather literal carry or put under to hold up or support, and by extension undergo, endure, or suffer, same as English. Suffer is an older word than suffrage. It came through Old French into the Anglo-Norman French of medieval England and into Middle English from there, with attested forms as early as around 1200. So, hopefully that clears up the confusion about suffrage and suffer. What do you think, Rufus? Do you feel a little bit smarter now? See you next time.